Good morning, Hit Nation, folks, folkheads, and everything in between and beyond. My name is Roy, the host of Happiness, and I am, as far as I'm concerned, the only host in the history of the internet who wholly and full-heartedly, see what I did there? Admits that he has no idea what he's talking about, but he tries. Actually, yesterday I watched almost the entire game. I just had one brief interruption. Weekend games, of course, are hard. I did watch most of the Suns game as well. And I watched yesterday until about 7 minutes to go into the third quarter, and then picked it up pretty much at the top of the fourth. So I missed about 9 minutes, maybe about 8 minutes of play, something like that. I think it was 10 something when I picked up, and we were up by 11, if I'm not mistaken. When I first turned the TV on the fourth quarter, in the fourth quarter, I think we were 5 up, and then we just had a couple of great plays. They had a timeout, and then I came back to watching. So I didn't get to watch everything, but I got to watch everything that mattered, both from the beginning of the game up to that third quarter, understanding that there was no third quarter again, quite contrary, and understanding that not only we came away with the win, but we came away with the win against the top of the NBA, the top team in the NBA right now, currently, the Cavaliers, and they were healthy, meaning up until a certain moment, Mobley was still there. I don't know exactly what happened. I wasn't paying attention 100% to that part, but I know that he left the game with some injury. But even before leaving the game, it was fun to watch him being beat by Bam defensively, and Bam being able to get some stuff over him, not everything. There are some things still missing in Bam's game, but not his aggressiveness anymore. I think his aggressiveness is there. So in terms of the stats, our stat pennies, or penny stats, which I much rather call it, we actually had 47 to their 36 rebounds, 27 assists apiece. We had 4 steals only. They had 5. That's interesting, because we actually had 4 blocks, which is not our thing, but we did. I'm mistaken, thanks to Rozier, thanks to Drew Smith, thanks to I have to check that part again. They only had 1 block. We had 11 turnovers. They had only 9, but we had 15 points off of turnovers, whereas they only had 13. So we had more turnovers, but we also had more points off of turnovers, which is, at the end of the day, what really matters. In terms of field goal percentage, 47.7 apiece. In terms of 3-point percentage, 43.2 for us, 42.4 to them. 92.3 free throw percentage for us to their 94.4. 50 points in the paint apiece. 10 second chance point. Actually, we had to have more second chance points. I'm not so sure, because I know we had 10 fast break points to their 12. Second chance points, I think we had 19 to their 10, if I'm not mistaken. Now, Herro finished the game. He led the Heat. 34 points, 7 assists, 2 turnovers. 6 rebounds, 5 from 9 from beyond the arc. 100% from the free throw line, and a +5. He wasn't the top one. I think the top one was either Bam or Jimmy with a +11. But still, it was a great game in general. It was a great game to have. Again, the rotation that Spo chose to have. I knew he was going to choose a bigger rotation, and I very much am very... and he really did it. What he did was something that I just said in my Worthless Half a Penny part 46, that Spo's main issue is not making certain adjustments, because he's very tight with his rotation. His rotation is very straight. This is the ones that I want. This is the ones that are going to play. And if, do or die. But that's not what happened yesterday. Seeing that Kevin Love was not really doing what he should be doing, which happens with Kevin Love, which happens with him a lot. You can't expect Kevin Love, for example, nowadays to be a good defender, and he gets lost in defense. And this is a game that we needed a good defense. He didn't put Kevin Love in the game as much anymore. Instead, we had great defensive plays by Highsmith. When Rozier came in, at least defensively, it did some things. He's still Rozier. I'm still not convinced that he can still fit with this lineup seamlessly, but he is, at many nights, he comes and he does it. The thing is, generally speaking, I'm not really buying into the Rozier idea anymore, because he was supposed to be a lot more than a role player. So just the fact that he's demoted to being a role player makes me think that we can find somebody else in the market out there. But still, not a bad game for Rozier at all. And again, right, in terms of my penny impressions, full penniless, it's just half a penny of an impression in terms of the value of it. Herro, again, exploding in one quarter. He did the same thing against the Suns, in which the Suns run him off the three-point line, no problem. He's going to score in the paint. His back is deep. His strength is there. He's taking contact. He's taking free throws. He's doing everything that he should do. Defensively, very consistent. Same thing can be said about Duncan Robinson, by the way. Very consistent offense, but very consistent defense as well. I think it took... yesterday, for example, he took the day before yesterday, the game against the Suns, he just took one ball right off of Booker. And you can say Booker was a little bit shook, whatever you want to say. Still, Duncan Robinson went ahead and took the ball, not getting it right off his hand, not getting into foul trouble. Same thing with Herro, of course, not being a minus on defense on many games, still turning the ball over a couple times, but that's okay, right? Now, this is still Herro's team. In the end of the day, his performance this year, with the team now getting a little bit more consistent, should, nay, it must grant him a place among the All-Star. And he gets to play in that tournament. Again, right, we figure that we can get, this year at least, our chance for having an All-Star lies more in Herro than anybody else. I can't see Bam making it, but I can't see Herro making it by a good margin, at least in how he's been playing. Again, Bam, Jimmy, and Duncan, right, the core four. I keep forgetting that the core is not three. I mean, Duncan Robinson is by all means a role player, but when he starts, it just brings so much good into the team, and he's functioning so well. And the rotation, even after a poor performance by Rozier against the Suns, came together again. Again, he contributed immensely. This was not an exceptional shooting night. That's another thing. It wasn't a night that we shot exceptionally. We got the same amount of points in the paint as we did against the Suns, so that's consistent right there. 2 games in a row and a back-to-back when both teams are tired. It shows you that we can do that. And it was an exceptional shooting night. Yes, we definitely shot above 40%, which is very important for a winning team. And, not shooting above 40% could be problematic. But we didn't shoot the lights out like we did in previous games and in previous wins. Meaning everything that we did is sustainable. This would have been another double-digit win, right? The 3rd consecutive in a row at that as well. Were it not for a late 3, was 16 seconds, they had to run the ball full court because they didn't have any timeouts. The guy made a 3 with what, about 7 seconds to go, 5 seconds when they got the ball. When we got the ball, and we just managed to just eliminate the game because we did not want to score on our last couple of possessions, but they kind of felt that, we're 12 down. Maybe we can make this game go away within 16 seconds. Yeah, they couldn't. In general, this was the best win of the season, not just because it was against the first seed in the NBA, with both of us being healthy, but because it was a win our way. It was defense generating offense. It was grit. It was the growth of players that a lot of people doubted, including myself. I doubted Herro a lot in the past. I'm not going to apologize. Because when you're doing badly, you're doing badly. My thing is, if you're doing badly and then you're performing well, you got to change your opinions. This brings me back to Lord Maynard Keynes, who said that when the facts change, I change my opinion. What about you, sir? That's my question. So dumb take of the week is definitely Herro. Rozier needs to come in for Herro because Herro sucks and Herro gets all of his shots only in one quarter and doesn't help the team. That person who said that, by the way, in social media was probably never going to watch this video, so I'm safe there. And he's also not a guy that I know at all and have nothing against. I have something against your take, but you know what? My takes are not gold either. Now, the Cavaliers, after a 15-0 start of the season, now is 6-4 in their last games, which, honestly, it's not that we'd be concerning. We never got, this is the first time that we get to 2 above 500. This is the first time we get 3 consecutive wins. But if we had to open the season at 6-4, we wouldn't necessarily be happy, right? So after 22 games now, we are doing pretty well. We're 12-10. We're in 5th seed. And I say we're doing pretty well considering. Because Ref said that he actually watched Khalil Ware perform. Not a terrible performance. I think at 20 points, 14 rebounds. A couple of blocks, like 4 blocks or something like that. So not a bad game for him. But he says that if Khalil Ware is not dominating in the G League, then he may not be ready for us. But that he's still an important pick. I still think that he is an important pick. I remember very well that same night, guys, we were talking about it. It was another person in the group, Edward Parker, and he was telling me, yeah, you know, my concern is that again we're gonna go Precious instead of Maxi. So right, we're gonna go with Ware instead of Connect, and we did, and we went with Ware. But I think that we need a guy like Ware functional more than we need anything else. I'm a little bit just concerned that Jovic is definitely not getting minutes because he's never gotten those minutes with Spo, and I really root for the guy, you know, root for our draftees to actually work well within our team. But that's just the way that the cookie crumbles. I'm happy we got 3 wins. We got a few days to rest before we play. If I'm mistaken. So that's the next guy, Raptors, or I think it's the Raptors on the 12th at back home. Anyway, stay safe, stay dry, stay as happy. I don't know why the game yesterday. I thought the game yesterday was away. By the way, another gaffe by the guy whose opinions are advertisedly worth half a penny. So. Stay safe, stay dry, stay as happy as possible in this complicated world of ours, and let's go Heat!